What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of the Growth by Shawn podcast. Today, I've got 52 questions from 52 different people that I've interviewed, and we're going to see how many we can answer. When I start to think of the podcast and where it started, primarily just health and fitness, all about the body, eating right, exercising, and there's so much greatness that can come from the physical aspect of life. Your physical reality, your physical body, all of that. Then there's also this huge internal component. And as the podcast has progressed, it's become a lot about interviewing different people and not just what they do, who they are, and how real transformation happens. And that, I think, is one of the biggest keys to life that everyone is always in a constant battle of figuring it out because you have so many different things to do, so many different people in your ear telling you to do one thing, telling you to do another thing. And then I become overwhelmed by it. And it's hard to pick and choose what do I want to do, even just in this moment, right? Even this podcast, do I want to dedicate an hour, 2 hours to go and do this and share information, um, share my thoughts, my beliefs, and then allow people to articulate their own beliefs based on that, what they want to believe and what they don't want to believe. And then transformation happens through the action of cementing those beliefs into not only who you are, but what you do. And they go hand in hand. Man, I am rambling on already. I'm excited. I've become excited about this. So these questions in no particular order. We'll start with a Jen Brocksterman question. Holy shit. Jen Brocksterman is one of the smartest, most unique individuals that I have ever met. If you could put three words into your teacup, what would they be? The teacup, if you guys listen to Jen's podcast, if you had not, the teacup is your internal emotional state that's happening, even feelings and moods. And the best way to depict this, she had said, if someone bumps into you and you had coffee in your tea kettle and they bumped you, what would fall out? Um, the coffee, right? And then if you had anger in your teapot, what would fall out? Um, Man, I need to go and listen to that episode myself. Like shit, Jen got me here. So what do you want when life is coming at you? What do you want to give to the world, regardless of what is happening? For me, it would be laughter, joy, and silliness. That is the three that would happen because when I think about my life, joy, silliness, laughter, that's what really completes life for me. When you look, okay, from Brian Fitzsimmons, really smart dude. When you look back on advice you used to give or say to clients, what was the best thing you've changed your mind on? What have I really used to believe and now I just don't believe anymore? Even just a macro-based approach to eating. And so I got caught up in the numbers for a long time. And I think that there's a large majority of people that they just go and track their macros and it will work. There's, I would say, 75% of people. There's still another 25% of people. And how many people you got on Earth? 8 billion or whatever. So 25% of that, that's a couple billion, right? So there's no one size fits all for anything. And so for me now, it's a lot of okay, meat, fruit, those are clearly the best things. But then also stay within calories. They go hand in hand. So just doing macros for every single person, trying to change their physical like body and outlook, I don't think is always going to be the best, like the only thing that you can do in your skill set. I think that if you're just a plain macro based approach, which I have done this in the past, so I know, then your clients are not always going to get results. Whether it's because they're not actually sticking to the correct macros or that there's something else going on internally. There's so many different factors to it. And that in this information is not to go and overwhelm you and say, oh my God, I can't even track my macros. I won't have the body I want, XYZ. Every single person is in a different place. One of the best things I had heard, eat foods that love you back. That's a huge one. If you go and eat a big greasy cheeseburger and then you feel like shit afterwards, why are you going to eat that multiple times a week or even once a week, a couple of times a month? And so you can still enjoy those foods because you can live the life that you want to live the most. And if that is the life that you want to live, then you can. But yeah, not just macros, man. From Josh Powers. Oh shit. Josh Powers, man. If money didn't matter and you could wake up to your perfect day, what would it look like? Man, I've contemplated this for a long time. It's going like then another thing for transformation. Think about meditation, visualization, right? When I look at this question, that's often a coach would give you, or you listen to advice from others that, oh, this has worked for me. You plan out your perfect life and you visualize that every single day. That's another part of transformation. There's so many aspects to transformation. And that's why I'm answering these questions right now, because you can take something and if you implement it for you, then that could be the missing piece that leads to transformation for you today. Who knows? It could happen. It could still happen to me today. All right. What would my perfect life look like for a day? I think I'd wake up on the beach. I'd have a house on the beach. I would do some type of physical exercise, some cardio or some weights, eat a good breakfast like steak, eggs, sourdough bread. Um, I'd do some reading. I would own, I feel like there's a strong part of me that wants to own a coffee shop with Shannon. And I feel like that fits in. I feel like that fits in. So I'm waking up at 4. You know what? Fuck it. I'll get up at 4. No, I want to get up at 6. I want to get up at 6 o'clock every day. That's the time. 6 to 6:30 for me. And again, everyone has a different time that works for them. When you're coach when you're coaching someone or when you're trying to transform, okay, well, you need 8 hours of sleep. Okay, look at someone that works overnights right now. Well, sleep is just going to be different for them until their body gets adjusted, if their body ever even gets adjusted. All right. Shout out to those overnight workers. My perfect day. All right. 6, do some type of physical activity, good breakfast, um, get some work done with Shannon. Yeah, we wouldn't have to be there. We're owners. We wouldn't have to be there right at 5 a.m. every single day when we open. So get some work done at the coffee shop, do some type of yeah, that's gonna be a good majority of the day if I so please. Um, because money's no option. And then I would definitely, if I just did cardio in the morning, get a workout in later in the day, and then hit the beach and then go out for dinner. We'll call it a day. That's it. All right, from Boomer Peralt. I remember Boomer. Shit. I've done so many of these freaking podcasts. This is wild. But this, it's a networking aspect, podcasting, Instagram, whatever. Like talking to people is one of the most helpful and beneficial things that you can do for your life. There's a time for stillness, peacefulness, you time, but there's also time for connection. And that's the biggest thing. If you could only pick 5 exercises for the rest of your life, what would they be? Incline bench press, lat pull down, some type of squat, bicep curl. Um, my last one, I got tricep, shoulder, some type of big back, shoulders. I'm gonna go with some type of row. Oh, five is so tough. Okay. From Brad Nelson, the money guy, getting out of debt. Debt's crazy. Debt is a crazy thing. Some debt's good, some debt's bad. If you had no debt or payments, what would be the first thing you would do? If I had no debt or payments, what would be the first thing I'd do? I would invest more into myself in whatever way that looks like, where that time is. Invest in yourself. That's one of the biggest things. From Nikki Odea. Shit, I remember Nikki too. I'm going to say that for every person, possibly. What would you think is the coolest thing about being a human in 2024? Shit, that was last year. What was the coolest thing about being a human? Um, this is so tough because there's so many good things, like really fun stuff that you can be doing as a human. I think, like, do I pick a physical ability? Like even just walking? Um, or something like super fun, something enjoyable, like donuts? Donuts is one of the best things. You ever eaten a fucking donut? Hell yeah. Um, oh, this is so tough. Donuts, final answer. That's really cool about being a human right now. Jen and I have been doing a lot of coffee reviews. We've been trying a lot of donuts, and I love them. From Tristan Gibson, what is your definition of self-love? Um, fully expressing yourself and just being you, not giving a fuck about what anybody thinks, because one day you're gonna die, and will it have even mattered? That's when you can start to get deep on this podcast, man. From Bob Wisher, who are you becoming? Plain, simple. Who am I becoming? An even more fun, crazy individual, like spirit, soul, just expressing more, sharing more, connecting more, and giving myself the whole human experience. From David Campbell, the podcast guy. Dude, this guy ran 8 podcasts. Then you look at your time and you're like, imagine running 8 podcasts. I have enough trouble with one. Like, look at that commitment, fulfillment that's got to bring him. What is one thing that you do different than others in your space? And why do you do it differently? What is my space? Because when I think of my space, like what is my career, but what is my purpose? Um, a lot of my purpose, I think, is to bring transformation to people, but also bring them a lot of joy and laughter. And something I do differently is bring comic relief to situations, right? With this heavy sarcasm that I have. And people are sometimes thrown off by it, but it's really fun for all parties involved. Lissa Scott, 3 bands you want to see live in concert before you die, dead or alive. Three. Honestly, music for me is just like whatever right now. When you start to look at subconscious programming, okay, because everything you're doing, everything you're intaking, TV, media, your surroundings, everything is creating this imprint in your brain, right? And so even for music, remember, it's got that rhythmic beat to it. It's really easy for that to get sucked deep into the subconscious, right? And so I used to listen to music all day long, every day, and now I don't anymore. It's how can I just have a little bit of me time in the car, some stillness? A podcast is always fun. But there's not as much music. I've never been a huge music guy. Regardless, three bands. Um, Lil Wayne, if I'm just gonna say artist, instead of band. Lil Wayne, I can't even think of two more because I don't really care. 50 Cent and Eminem. Those are my three. All right, from Anna Clow. This is an underrated individual. Anna Clow is one smart cookie, especially with women, dieting, and their relationship to food. Underrated coach. What advice would you give to your younger self? I would say, hmm, part of me wants to say financial advice. Part of me wants to just give spiritual advice. Let's go with the financial advice. Don't open too many credit cards. I think that's pretty sound advice for people. From Amanda Russo. Amanda Russo is a crazy person. She is awesome. I say crazy in the best way. What resource do you recommend everyone utilize to be successful? I would say meditation, stillness. If you can find, and you can, 10 minutes every day, I think that's one of the most beneficial things that you can do. When you're out searching for every single answer, it's like on to the next one, on to the next one. When am I going to find the one thing I need to do? You know what? You don't need to meditate every single day. You don't need to sit there for 3 hours. If there comes a time in your life that may change, though, there may be a time where you need to go and meditate for 3 hours a day. Who knows? But I think meditation is going to be the one thing that someone can start doing that will change their life the most drastically. If I could only pick one thing, yeah, the mind is so powerful. From Will Schulter, Schluchter? I forget how to pronounce Will's last name. If you could go to the first year of your career, what would you tell them? Hmm, my first year of my career. Um, well, I've primarily been in health and fitness. I'll say that's been my primary career. My first year, what was I doing? I wasn't even doing diet plans or anything. It was just in-person training. You come see me for an hour, 2 hours, half hour a week. It it's hard to change someone's life in and just give them like a good workout, like anyone off the street for an hour, 2 hours, half hour a week. Um, so I would say start doing more work on yourself first. I wish I had started working on myself earlier in life because it's definitely only been the past couple of years. From Rob Pengelly. Rob is an amazing individual. What is the most meaningful or impactful thing that you have purchased in the last 6 months that cost less than $100? Ooh, what's meaningful? Or impactful. I don't buy a ton of shit. It might be, it's got to be this new camera. A LOGI is the brand. I'm using it right now. I'm pointing at it. It was like 20 bucks and it's an external camera for my computer. Everyone that says that you can't make content, I was making this podcast with this blurry ass camera on my laptop for years. Um, and now I upgraded to a $20 camera. So that's cool. That's the most meaningful purchase I've made. From Dennis Meralda. Dude, this dude's a powerhouse in the education space. There's so much shit going on in Doge and all that kind of stuff. There's a lot going on in the world, right? Living a cool time. If you think back to yourself as a high school student, what would you say to them now? Get in shape, bro. Um, yeah, just start working out earlier. I didn't start working out till like my junior year of high school, and that started to create the person I am today. That was like my first step to like becoming like having self-awareness, all these different aspects of life. From Kelly Poole. Kelly is an awesome individual too. What are you willing to do in the pursuit of your goals? What am I willing to do? Most people go and they're like, whatever it takes. And most people are also not doing whatever it takes. And right now, I don't think I'm doing whatever it takes. I am willing to change, though. And I think if you have a willingness to change, it's much easier to actually start to go and change. But if you are strapped to this, I can't change, then you won't be able to. A lot of life can be just a placebo effect. Isn't that crazy to think about? You can just convince yourself that you're this type of person. And that could be a huge placebo effect, just the thoughts that you have. But let me give you an easier example as well. Um, there was once a study, the milkshake example. They had group A, group B. They both gave them like 400 calorie milkshake. Group A, they told them it was a healthy milkshake. Group B, they told them it was an unhealthy milkshake. Same milkshake. Didn't disclose the calories. Group A, who was told it was healthy, lost weight. Group B, uh, gained weight. Look at the medical field. Western medicine can be helpful, but at the same time, how much can your mind freaking heal you? And for some people, that's a crazy concept. And so, completely understand when I'm meeting someone at that level where I sound like a crazy person. And that's okay. Because remember, like, judgment doesn't really matter. So, when you're looking at, okay, my mind can heal you, all these people, they go to this crazy retreat, they do ayahuasca, they go and um, meditate on a mountain for 3 days. They just convince themselves that whether you're like looking at a certain modality of anything, and many of these modalities work, but at the same time, so many things could just be a placebo effect as well. So I'll let you guys sit deeper with that. This is from Vasilis Axios. Now, this is a hardworking dude right here. What is the most important quality when looking for a partner? Hmm, trusting that both of you have belief in each other. We're getting real deep. This is from Hope Shanley. What a great gal. I miss Hope Shanley. Do you believe everyone in life has a purpose? If so, have you found yours? I have so many of these conversations with purpose and what we're here to do. Hmm. I think everyone does have a purpose. When you look at the spiritual aspect of we're all spirits, we're all spiritual beings, and then we are carnated into this physical form. That's one way of looking at the world. Um, so when you look at it that way, and then there's different, I don't know if they're theories or facts. I don't actually know that your soul chose to come here. So I think there's a purpose to just like the way I'm figuring life out thus far and this question and purpose is going to be different for every single person, and whether you believe it or whether you don't believe it, that's what it is for you. So if you believe that this is your purpose, then I think that that can be your purpose. And if you believe that this isn't your purpose, then I think that that's not your purpose. I think every single person just chooses whether they want to have purpose in life or not. I think that's where that free will aspect comes in. But yes, everyone has. Does everyone have a purpose? If you only believe, so do I believe that everyone has a purpose? Um, yes, everyone is here for some type of reason, but you may never know. And have you found yours? I don't know. Um, no, I don't think so. But I still believe I have a purpose, but I don't have just this one specific thing that it is. This is from Jessica Sandow. What is your definition of balance, and are you practicing it in life? Balance is balance is just about finding joy with wherever you're at in life and whatever you do. So if you're someone that is hustle and grind, and now there's even more, there's so many different theories and thought processes to life and making money and being successful. And there's hustle and grind, and it works for some people. And then there's the laid back and I'm just going to let all this come to me, but they're still taking action too. Okay. So when you look at balance, it's just about finding what works for you and finding joy in what you do. So if you're going to go and sit on the couch for 8 hours and that's what you like to do, and you don't have like this bigger purpose for your life right now, then I think that's cool. Like you found some balance in that, but then you also work. Um, you found a way to make money. There's so many different ways that we can live in balance. And so it's just about finding joy in whatever you're going to choose to decide to do, even if it's painful. Shit, I had Hope Shanley on the podcast twice, and her question is back up already. All right, another question. Do you believe everyone in life has a purpose, and have you found yours? Oh, did I just write this question twice? Never mind. Ryan Witherspoon, what does soul mean to you? Soul is just that that little bit of it's like that's just your soul is just your essence, your being. It's who you are, the energy you're bringing to every situation. Like everyone knows when you can feel it when your soul's on fire. So your soul is just that essence and that energy that you bring to life. That's your soul. Doing what you want to do, being who you want to be. Oop. Oh shit. A couple questions stuck together. I had another question from Jessica Sandow. Oh. Oh yeah, I did a part one and two with her. Which has more value in your life, motivation or discipline? Ooh, I think it's gotta be discipline because we all understand and know of the phrase, um, maybe I don't know the specific phrase, but it's like motivation is short term, discipline is long term. I think that's just a pretty basic, simple answer at this point. Discipline over motivation. This is from Amanda Josted. Do you feel actions you've taken this week will bring you towards the life you deserve? I think everyone's deserving of life, and so I'll preface that. But do I think the actions I've taken this week, I think I deserve the life that I've been given right now. And so it doesn't always matter what it looks like in the external, but more just that I'm finding joy and peace in the internal. Do I think the actions I've taken? Yeah, I think they line up. It's from Mark England. It's going to be our last question of the day. I'm getting tired here. When was the hardest time you've ever laughed, and what was it about? This was with Kyle, uh, my best friend Kyle. We were in Mr. Braun's exercise physiology class. We were in some type of business class with him. And so this was in college, and we were just playing this game, basketball, um, like one of those like game pigeon games on our iPhone, and I don't know why, but we just said the word basketball out loud, and I lost it. I almost pooped my pants. I was laughing so hard. My insides were hurting. Um, it was it was absolute chaos. Um, and I don't know why I ever laughed that hard. Guys, this was a very different episode than I've done. Because normally I just do interviews, but there's a lot to learn from a lot of different people. So I hope that I was able to be one of those people that brought you some value and you learned something today. So let's do it.